Guys, Aeromexico 498 is about to enter the airspace of Los Angeles International Airport when disaster strikes. This plane has just collided with a private Piper Archer. Following a flight of just over 2 hours, they are suddenly in a life-threatening situation. Below them is a crowded suburb of Cerritos, and it's a sunny afternoon with clear skies. With every passing second, the fate of the 67 people on board and countless others on the ground hangs in the balance. Their lives now depend on what the pilots do in this desperate situation. Were they able to avoid a tragedy on Sunday the 31st of August 1986 in California? Let's find out. The weather conditions on August 31st, 1986 were reported to be clear with good visibility. The sky was clear, and the reported visibility was about 14 miles. It might not be obvious, but the clear weather and good visibility might have actually played a bigger role in this incident than it might first seem. A small Piper Cherokee operated by a private pilot with only 231 flight hours was planning for a departure around 11:40 a.m. Pacific time from Torrance Municipal Airport, California. It was embarking on a short trip to Big Bear Lake with a total of 2 passengers and the pilot. Simultaneously, Aeromexico Flight 498 was preparing to land at the same airport, having departed from Mexico City International Airport. During the journey, it had already touched down in Guadalajara, Loreto, and Tijuana as part of the flight plan. The aircraft was a McDonnell Douglas DC-932 with a tail number XAJED, named Aeromexico, having been in service since 1979. The cockpit crew consisted of Captain Arturo Valdez Prom, 46, and First Officer Jose Hector Valencia, 26. The captain had a total of 10,641 flight hours. Of those, 4,632 hours were spent flying this exact aircraft type. The plane consisted of 64 occupants, 58 passengers, and 6 crew members. Unbeknownst to both sets of pilots, their paths were set on a catastrophic collision course. As the day progressed, the airspace over Los Angeles became increasingly congested, with numerous planes traversing the skies. The Piper PA-28181 Cherokee aircraft, registration N4891F, takes off from Torrance, California. On board are 3 members of the Kramer family: William Kramer, his wife Kathleen, and their daughter Caroline. The Piper PA-28 is a single-engine light aircraft perfect for private flights and small family trips, but little did the Kramers know, this flight would be their last. As Aeromexico Flight 498 began its final descent into Los Angeles, communication errors and inadequate traffic separation created a perfect storm for disaster. Remember I mentioned that weather that day? The clear weather and good visibility were actually contributing factors to the accident, as the pilots were expected to maintain visual separation and follow the see and avoid concept in that airspace. However, the Piper pilot failed to communicate properly with air traffic control and entered the terminal control area without clearance, leading to the mid-air collision. At precisely 11:52 a.m., the unthinkable happened. At about 6,500 feet over Cerritos, California, the DC-9 collides with the Piper PA-28. The collision shears off most of the DC-9's tail section and critically damages the Piper's wing. The Piper Cherokee struck the DC-9's left tailplane, causing both aircraft to break apart mid-air. The impact is catastrophic. The situation is dire. Despite the pilot's best efforts, the damage is too severe to recover from. The DC-9, with all of its horizontal stabilizer and most of its vertical stabilizer separated, inverted, and immediately entered a dive. 11:54 a.m., the DC-9 crashes into a residential neighborhood in Cerritos. The aircraft explodes on impact, destroying 5 houses and damaging a further 7. Simultaneously, the Piper PA-28 crashes into a nearby school playground. The impact on the ground was immediate and devastating. In total, 36 houses were destroyed or severely damaged, and 15 people on the ground lost their lives. The total death toll from the crash reached 82, including everyone aboard both aircraft. The Cerritos community was in shock and mourning, grappling with sudden loss and the trauma of the accident. The devastation is immense. All 64 people on board the DC-9, including 58 passengers and 6 crew members, perish instantly. The 3 occupants of the Piper PA-28 also lose their lives. Tragically, 15 people on the ground in Cerritos are killed by falling wreckage and the explosion. By 11:55, emergency responders are alerted and begin arriving at the crash sites. The scene is chaotic, with fires raging and debris scattered across the neighborhood. Firefighters battle flames and search for survivors, but there are few to be found. By noon, fire crews are hard at work extinguishing fires caused by the crashes. The effort to control the blaze and secure the area continues well into the afternoon. The immediate aftermath leaves a community in mourning and the aviation world in shock. The National Transportation Safety Board immediately launches an investigation to determine the causes of the collision. Their findings reveal significant shortcomings in the air traffic control system and the actions of the Piper PA-28 pilot. The NTSB concludes that the primary causes of the accident were the limitations of the air traffic control system to provide adequate collision protection and the Piper pilot's unauthorized entry into control airspace without the required transponder. In the investigation that followed, it was determined that multiple factors had contributed to the tragedy. Miscommunications, radar limitations, and a lack of effective collision avoidance systems were identified as key issues. However, from this terrible event came a renewed commitment to aviation safety. The implementation of the Traffic Collision Avoidance System, stricter regulations for smaller aircraft, and improved air traffic control procedures were direct results from the lessons learned from Aeromexico Flight 498. The absence of a transponder made it difficult for air traffic controllers to track the Piper's altitude, leading to the tragic encounter with Aeromexico Flight 498. In response to the findings, several crucial changes were implemented to enhance aviation safety. Number 1. Transponder mandate. All general aviation aircraft operating in controlled airspace are required to have altitude encoding transponders. Number 2. Traffic collision avoidance system. Commercial aircraft must be equipped with TCAS to warn pilots of potential mid-air collisions. And number 3. Airspace redesign. The airspace around busy airports like Los Angeles International were restructured to minimize the risks of mid-air collisions. These measures have significantly improved the safety of our skies, helping to prevent future tragedies like the one over Cerritos. Beyond the technical details and regulatory changes, the human toll of the accident cannot be overlooked. Families and communities were torn apart by the loss of loved ones, leaving lasting scars. Memorials were erected to honor the victims, serving as a sober reminder of the importance of continuous improvement in aviation safety. The story of Aeromexico 498 serves as a stark reminder of the complexities and risks inherent in aviation. While the aftermath brought about significant advancements in safety, the memories of those lost continue to inspire a commitment to making air travel as safe as possible. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into aviation's most tragic and pivotal moments. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories from the world of aviation. And as always, fly safe.